Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Bihari Gopi Jana Balava Jayo Girivara Hari Jai Girivara Hari Gopi Jana Balava Jai Girivara Hari Jai Girivara Hari Pune Tira Manachari Jayo Kunj Bihari Jai Kunj Bihari Pune Tira Manachari Jayo Kunj Bihari Jaya Kunj Bihari Radha Madhava Jayo Kunj Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunj Gopi Jana Balava Jayo Girivara Hari Jai Girivara Hari Gopi Jana Balava Jaya Girivara Hari Jai Girivara Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Forget that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey!
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol.
Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare
Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa, Parivritakashaya, Surisimad is Divine Grace, ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prabhu Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaurabhakta ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Gogopinath, Shamakun, Radhakun, Giri Govardhan ki, Shri Brajabhumi, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Deep Mayapur Dham ki, Yamuna Maya ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya, Savior of the whole world, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Go Premanande. Glory to the assembled devotees. Oh, glory to the assembled devotees. Oh, glory to the assembled devotees. Glory to Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga. Haribo!
Hare Krishna. So it's a great fortune, and I would say a great privilege for me on this very special occasion of Gudi Padwa, which marks the beginning of a new year in a tradition out of this place. So where we have the association of His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj ki. So I'll just briefly introduce Maharaj. His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj is the dedicated senior disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Maharaj joined the movement back in Detroit, Michigan in 1970. He received his first initiation in 1971, and then he took to the sannyas order in 1979. Taking to heart the direct instruction he received from Srila Prabhupada to preach boldly and have faith in the holy names, Maharaj has circled the globe over 35 times in spreading Krishna consciousness. He pioneered the preaching in several European countries such as France, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, South Africa. He has also been instrumental in expanding and inspiring the North American and Australian devotee community through his festival programs. Some of his long-standing preaching efforts include his annual Festival of India tour in Poland that introduces Krishna consciousness through highly professional and innovative cultural performances, including dance, drama, music, puppet shows, and prasadam, served to over 5,000 people every single day for 2 months. When I was in America in those days, almost 15 years ago, we used to get the reports about it. And I can tell you back in those in America, it was used to be our, intense wish and desire to just get an opportunity to take part in that festival. It never happened, but we have Maharaj here, so at least with that way. Being in America, at that point of time, going to Poland festival is like going for Kartik Yatra in Vrindavan. Seriously. Like that was the environment created in that festival. His annual US-based Sadhu Sangha Kirtan retreat attracts around 3,000 devotees each year, and this year would mark the 12th year of the festival. His Kartik Parikrama program, which draws over 500 devotees each year for a profound experience of immersion in Kirtan and Krishna Katha in Sri Vrindavan Dham for the entire month of Kartik. His long month-long Rishikesh Kirtan Fest, a Kirtan and spiritual culture event dedicated to introducing Bhakti Yoga to thousands of yoga practitioners. This year will be the 4th year of the festival. They just concluded and on the tour here now. Despite being an active traveling preacher, Maharaj also spends hours in elaborate deity worship every day and has restored the worship of several ancient deities whom he discovered during his travels. I believe most of you will be aware of Traveling Monk Diary of a Traveling Monk. If not, get a copy of it. It's an amazing where Maharaj writes beautifully about his experiences. No matter how busy he is, he always finds time to encourage children in their Krishna consciousness as they are the future hope of our movement. Maharaj generously shares his realizations and invaluable treasures he discovers in his travels and his well-loved book series, Diary of a Traveling Monk. And through his extensive photography and Facebook posts that engage a dedicated audience of more than 65,000 devotees. 4 years ago, to expand his preaching, Maharaj began engaging an online audience through a weekly YouTube lecture series focused on Sri Vrindavan Dham and based on his research at Vrindavan Research Institute. This lecture series laid the foundation for his book series, The Traveling Monk in Sacred Places. He recently released a second book in the series titled The Sacred Forest of Vrindavan, Eastern Bank of the Yamuna. You can see that over here. This latest installment explores the hidden gems of Vrindavan, its sacred sites and personalities, and the pastimes of the divine couple that occur there. Ever close to his heart, Sri Vrindavan Dham is a sacred place where Maharaj calls home. Last year was our first annual pilgrimage to Vrindavan, and most of that pilgrimage I carried out based on the first volume of Maharaj's book. And to conclude with, I remember in those early days when I joined ashram, we'll conclude our day by reading Krishna book. And then I'll get into my sleeping bag, and then I'll take out my Kindle. It'll be around 9:30 or 10. And then at 10 o'clock in the night, I will read Diary of a Traveling Monk. And I can tell you, it's just so attractive. Once you start reading it, it's very difficult to leave it. And that's how I got a bad habit of sleeping late in the night. You start reading it, you can't really stop it. But I often encouraged all the young brahmacharis, that is a must-read book. And I really want to thank Maharaj because his journey, his experiences, which he has documented in the book for our good, has really helped me to develop faith and also take this life of renounced order seriously. So let's loudly welcome Maharaj once again and gratefully welcome Maharaj. Also along with Giridhari Govind Prabhu, I really want to thank him that he took this initiative to organize a program here. And along with Maharaj, we have many wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who have come here. Our sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us here along with Maharaj. So let's welcome Maharaj loudly once by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj ki.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I think he tends to exaggerate a little bit, but I'll try to live up to that example. To begin with, I'd like to congratulate all of you on Gudi Padwa. Gudi Padwa ki. And I'd like to say Jai Maharashtra and Shivaji Maharaj ki jai ho. I know the history here. He's also one of my heroes. Oma Gyan Timirandasya Gyanan Gyana Shilakaya Chuksulimiritam Jena Tasmaya Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Shwayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Sva Padantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrindam Hare Krishna. I'd like to begin tonight by quoting one of our great acharyas. He's actually known as the pioneer of the Krishna conscious movement in the modern age. and that is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In his Arunodhaya Kirtan, there's a beautiful shlok in which he glorifies the Yuga avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here in India, we're well aware of the Das avatars, the various 10 incarnations that come to this world from Vaikuntha, expansions of the avatari, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not mentioned in those 10 incarnations, but he is the incarnation in the age of Kali. Actually, Krishna is called Tri Yuga Avatar. It means that Krishna appears in 3 of the 4 yugas. He appears in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga. But there's no mention that he appears in the Kali Yuga directly. But in the 11th canto of the Bhagavad Purana, there's a very important verse. Krishna Varnan Tvisha Krishnam Shangopanga Shapashadam Yagnai Sankirtan Prayar Jantihi Shumeda Shaha. It's almost a hidden verse. Many people may not understand it, but the scholars, they understand that same Krishna who appeared at the end of Dwapara Yuga, bluish black like a monsoon cloud, and spoke the Bhagavad Gita during the Battle of Kurukshetra, and had his pastimes primarily in Sri Vrindavan Dham. That same personality has again appeared in Kali Yuga. Although he's true Yuga avatar, he still appears in Kali Yuga, but in a hidden form. Not as God, Krishna appears as the devotee of God to teach us the process of how to serve God. He's Krishna. But he's not bluish, he's golden. He's the golden avatar. And that verse says that he can be recognized by the fact that he's always surrounded by his devotees who are singing his own sweet holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a modern acharya, in a sense, he appeared here in India in the late 1800s. He wrote this beautiful verse. Udilo aruna puraba bhage, dwijamani gora amani jage. This is Bengali, very sweet. Udila arunu puraba bhage, dwijamani gora amani jage. When the eastern horizon became tinged with the redness that heralded the rising sun, the jewel amongst brahmanas, Lord Gaurasundar, immediately awakened. So this verse mentions some of the glories of this special avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Much can be said about him. There's a number of shastras about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, most notably Chaitanya Charitamrita Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Chaitanya Bhagavad. But for our purposes this evening, let us understand that he is the avatar for the age of Kali. In each age the Lord incarnates to propagate dharma. Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Panitam, the Bhagavad Purana, the jewel among scriptures. Amala Purana, only dealing with pure devotional service to the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Panitam, very important. But for the Lord, no one else can inaugurate the process of dharma or religion in any particular age. Others can expound it. Great acharyas can repeat the Lord's instructions. They can set a good example of what is a dharmic person. But only God, only Bhagavan, can come in each age and give a process which is applicable for the people of those times. We're different than the people in Dwapara Yuga. We're different than the people in Treta Yuga. We're different than the people in Satya Yuga. They were all in pure goodness. This is Kali Yuga. This is an age of quarrel and hypocrisies. And even if you want to be a good person, you're influenced by the badness or the negativity that predominates this age. But Lord Chaitanya, he is the Yuga avatar. And his appearance is very special. Rupa Goswami, another one of our great acharyas, he appeared 500 years ago. He wrote about this avatar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namde Gaur Twishye Namaha. Oh, most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani. She's the consort of Lord Sri Krishna in the spiritual world. And you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. All of us offer our respectful obeisances to you. He's the most recent incarnation. One time my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, said, when several instructions are given, the last instruction is the most relevant. When someone gives a number of instructions, the last instruction is the most important. So different avatars have come giving religious teachings. But the most recent incarnation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's given his teachings. So they're most relevant. The last instruction is the most relevant. So the last avatar, most recent, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So people should hear from him. So the key words in this verse by Rupa Goswami are Krishna Prema Pradayate. Those are the key words. Krishna Prema Pradayate. Rupa says, you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, your unique contribution to human society is you are widely distributing pure love of God, prem. Why does that make Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so special? Because previously, no other incarnation of God focused on distributing prema during their missions on the earth. Generally, we know from Bhagavad Gita that when Bhagavan comes to this world, he does three things. Paritranaya sadhanam, vinashaya chaduskritam, dharma samstapanartaya. Every Hindu knows. That verse is on the tongue of many people in this country. Paritranaya sadhanam, vinashaya chaduskritam, dharma samstapanartaya. When Bhagavan comes, he rescues devotees. He kills asuras. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Shishupal. It's one thing Krishna does. Of course, he liberates them when he kills them. And he reestablishes dharma, or spiritual life, because in Kali Yuga, people forget very easily. I've been coming to your country since 1970. It's changed so much. People are not as pious as they used to be. There's one book that has been written, Cry, My Beloved Country. I'm your adopted son. I'm elderly, but I'm the adopted son of this country because I spend most of my life here. I've seen how India is going down, down, down. Fortunately, there's ISKCON, there's International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which is reviving the glory of this country. Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, culminating in prema and love, the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, is called Senapati. He's the general who's pushed on this movement, reviving Krishna consciousness here. So that's what Krishna does when he comes. He rescues his devotees, okay? He annihilates demons, and he speaks Bhagavad Gita. For example, Lord Nrsingadev, he appeared to protect or to deliver his devotee Prahlad Maharaj. Lord Varaha killed the demon Hiranyaksha. And Lord Kapila appeared to speak absolute truth, dharma, shamshta, parnarthaya. But it's not mentioned that any of them widely distributed prema. With all due respect, I'm a Nrsinga Bhakta. Nrsingadev never spoke about prema. He was just rescuing Prahlad. Lord Varaha, he was busy taking the earth which had been thrown into the Garbhatak ocean by Hiranyaksha up on his snout. And Kapila Dev spoke general spiritual knowledge. They didn't distribute prema. What is prema? Prema we find in the Shikshastakam prayers by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears of love are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. Krishna, I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. Vipralambha bhav, separation. This is the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the people of Kali Yuga. The highest gift to the most fallen. Therefore, Rupa Goswami is amazed by this incarnation. This was his main purpose in coming to the earth. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radhe Krishna Nahi Anga. Who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who's come to the earth 500 years ago to give this Braj Prema to the most fallen people? He's none other than a combination of Radha and Krishna. It's quite deep. Radha and Krishna combined together as the singular person of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come to this earth to give prema. How does Mahaprabhu know prema? Because he's the combination of Radha and Krishna and their loving pastimes. He accomplished that. And he's continuing to accomplish, spreading that prema. Nagare brahme kirtana kariya Bashaila tri bhuvana prem bhakti diya. The Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya went on from one part of India to another as the Lord wandered everywhere performing kirtan. In this way, he inundated India and the whole world by distributing love of God. You're the first recipients. You're most blessed. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita says the most pious people in the universe, they take birth in Bharat. Although the Vedic culture's dying, Prabhupada said an elephant is useful when it's living, and even when the elephant's dead, it's still useful. Because you can take the skin, you can take the tusks and make ivory. So although Vedic culture somewhat disappeared in India, it's still present. There's something still worthwhile. People go to the temples. They take prasad. They hear the Ramayana. They hear the Mahabharata, even today. Not so much the young people, but the elderly people. And now here in Pune, where there's so many top universities, many boys are joining. I met one devotee today. He had a master's in microbiology. I don't even know what microbiology is. Maybe he's studying little tiny things, germs. Very tough. He gave it all up to join ISKCON and become a member of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement, spreading love of God. His parents were horrified. You know, in your country, education is very important, and rightfully so. But more important is the distribution of the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Atato Brahma Jignasya. The ultimate purpose of life is self-realization, to understand who I am, who is God, and what is my intimate loving relationship. So much that yam yam vapis maram babam. When I leave this mortal frame, I'm thinking of Radha and Krishna. So I go back home, back to Godhead. And Krishna says, once having returned there, you never come back to Pune. It's a nice city, but it's part of the material world. So Mahaprabhu, this incarnation, he did something no other incarnation has done. And this is going to go on for 10,000 years. It's actually said the Sankirtan movement, the golden age of Kali Yuga, will last for 10,000 years. You see some celebrations going on behind me. It's going to go on for 10,000 years, the Sankirtan movement. So let us look at the fireworks. It's celebrating my statement. It's not by chance. Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya Ke. So it's also important to discuss a little bit. What kind of love did Mahaprabhu distribute? Just like gold. There's different qualities of gold. There's 9 carat, there's 18 carat, there's 22 karat gold, and there's 24 karat gold. Now, gentlemen, you ask your wives if you're going to get them a gold ring or a gold chain. You say to them, dear one, would you like 18 karat gold chain or 22 karat, 24? Believe me, they say 24. And being Vaishnavis, they'll go to the temple and they'll give it to Krishna. Yes? These are not ordinary women. They'll take the gold chain and they'll give it to Bhagavan, to the Murti. So there's different qualities of love for Krishna as well. In that verse by Rupa Goswami, he says, Krishna prema pradayate. Krishna prema. Before the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, most Vaishnavas in this country worship the Lord of Vaikuntha, Narayan. Om Narayana Namaha. But that's in the mood of Aishvarya Bhav, awe and reverence. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers, they stress the superiority of worshiping Krishna in Vrindavan, in the sweet mood of intimate love. In Vaikuntha, Krishna is, Narayan's the master and we're his servants. That's very nice. That's actually our process as well before we enter into an intimate, loving relationship with Krishna. We first understand his greatness. God is great and we are very small. We establish the parameters of the relationship. But as we become more purified in devotional service, we have the opportunity to worship Krishna in a different types of rasa, more deep, loving rasa. The worship of Krishna is higher than the worship of Narayan, and sweeter too. Why? Because in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, Krishna is described as having certain transcendental characteristics that Lord Narayan doesn't have. For example, Krishna is a performer of wonderful childhood pastimes. You see all these children, some of them are very young, they're very cute. So Krishna also appears as a baby because that's how Mother Yasoda wants to worship him, how Devaki wants to worship him. You never hear of Narayan being a baby. It's awe and reverence with his weapons, protecting his devotees. But Krishna, who's the source of Narayan, he sometimes appears as a little child. And we celebrate that during the month of Kartik, Damodar. Another difference between Krishna and Narayan is that Krishna is always surrounded by devotees endowed with prema, pure love of God. Another difference between Krishna and Narayan is that Krishna can attract all living entities in the universe with his vamsi. Narayan doesn't have a vamsi. He's club, gada, chakra, lotus flower. It's still going on. And another quality that Krishna has that Narayan doesn't have is that Krishna's beauty cannot be rivaled. You'll never find anyone in creation as beautiful as Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he revealed Krishna and the special nature of love for him. And Mahaprabhu revealed that love of Krishna is seen in its highest form in the gopis of Vrindavan, in the mood of Madhurya Ras, conjugal love. Love like the love of a boy and a girl in this world, but on the transcendental platform. Nothing material or mundane. Rupa Goswami says in Padjavali, as young boys are attracted to young girls, and young girls are attracted to young boys, Krishna, let me be attracted to you in that same mood, but with not a tinge of any sense gratification or material, or just pure love. And that can only be found in Krishna's path. No other incarnation of God has allowed his devotees to approach him in that way, only Krishna. It's a special rasa, to love Krishna as a lover. For example, during the appearance of Lord Ramachandra, Jai Sri Ram! Some great sages, purified by lifetimes of devotional service, were attracted to Lord Ramachandra in the mood of conjugal love. But they couldn't do that because the relationship with Lord Ram was dasya ras, like Hanuman. We worship Hanuman because he's the best servant of Ram. He was willing to sacrifice his love, sacrifice his life to go to Lanka and rescue Sita. And at the end, after all was said and done, Lord Ram said to Hanuman, Hanuman, how can I reciprocate with you? So Hanuman's in the mood of a servant. He didn't say, embrace me like, or kiss me like the gopis. He said, you can give me a little hug, Lord. So it's that famous painting of Lord Ramachandra embracing Hanuman as a loyal servant. But these particular sages in Treta Yuga, they developed a more intimate love, like the love of the gopis for Krishna. But it wasn't possible. They had to wait many, many lifetimes. They had to wait, in Shastras described, until Dwapara Yuga and take birth as gopis and worship the Lord in that conjugal rasa. They had to wait millions of years. So such devotees are very dear to the Lord. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha, Jagaditaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo. Krishna loves his devotees. My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the brahmanas. You are the well-wisher of the entire human society in the world. Krishna loves all his devotees. He said he's the seed-giving father of all created beings. And we left Krishna. We left the spiritual world on our own initiative because love is never forced. You always have a choice to love. We have free will. Love it, not in the spiritual world. You must love Krishna. Everyone has their free will. Love means you have a choice. And out of all the unlimited living entities in Goloka Vrindavan, just very tiny fraction misuse that independence. And they come to the material world. Pune. So how do we come again to the point of being pure lovers of Krishna? It's not easy. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it easy. He says, Hare chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Although we forgot Krishna, he never forgot us. So he comes to remind us about that loving relationship. He wants to rescue us. When Krishna comes to this world, why does he come? First and foremost, to rescue his devotees. To kill the demons, that's not very difficult for Krishna. He can make a hurricane. He can make a flood. He can have a disease like COVID. It's not difficult for the Lord to annihilate the miscreants. It doesn't take him very long to reestablish Dharma or religious principles. He just speaks Bhagavad Gita for 45 minutes on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. That's reestablishing Dharma. He doesn't have to come to the world for that. He comes to this world to rescue us. That's Krishna. So we should make it easy for him. We should embrace dharma, Sanatana Dharma. Sarva dharmam parichatam, mamekam saranam brajam, aham tam sarva papebhyo, moksha. He's making it very easy. Simply surrender unto me, Krishna says. I will protect you from all sinful action. But people are not willing to accept that simple instruction. And Lord Chaitanya, he doesn't make any conditions. He says, here's Krishna, take him. There's no conditions. There's no hard and fast rules for chanting the Maha Mantra, which is non-different than the Lord. Mahaprabhu is chanting and dancing everywhere. Here's Krishna, take him in the form of his name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But people won't accept. They won't accept. So therefore, the secret weapon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what's the secret weapon? Prasadam. People may not want to chant Hare Krishna. They may not want to study our Gaudiya literature, but everyone likes to eat. So if we make nice, tasty prasadam and we distribute it, people will make advancement. As much advancement as we're making in our chosen ways of Hari Katha and Kirtan, etc. Don't think that prasadam is anything less inferior. No. One time, the great Acharya, Ramanujacharya, he was sitting on the bank of the Kaveri River in Srirangam with some of his disciples. And some pashandis came. What's a pashandi? Pashandi, it's a bad word. In English, we have bad words. We call them four-letter words. We won't mention. But in your language, Sanskrit, pashandi means an offender. Someone who blasphemes the Lord, blasphemes the process of devotional service, blasphemes the devotees. Pashandi. Prabhupada said one time, the Mayavadis are the worst offenders because they're blaspheming Krishna. So some Pashandis came. And they passed by Ramanujacharya. And they made a joke. The head Pashandi. What a title. You're the head Pashandi. Like Prahlad said to Hiranyakashipu, Pita, you're the best of the Asuras. Hiranyakashipu went, oh, Prahlad, thank you. I'm the best of the Asuras. So this Pashandis came, and the leader, he looked at the devotees taking prasadam. He said, you see this Ramanujacharya? He says, this food is spiritual. It's just grains and vegetables and some fruits mixed with some gore. It's nothing special. This made a great offense. This was the Mahaprasada of Ranganath. So to teach them a lesson, devotees are so compassionate, even to the Pashandis. Ramanujacharya took some of that prasad, Mahaprasada of Ranganath. He threw it in the Kaveri River. His disciples, what? Ramanujacharya, why are you throwing the prasadam in the river? He had a purpose. He's Acharya. Some little fish, 6 little fish came. You know how fish are. And they were nibbling on that Mahaprasadam. Immediately, those living entities revived their forearm Vaikuntha forms. And they rose out of the water. Beautiful gentlemen. Like Vishnu Dutas. They assumed their original forearm forms, glowing like the sun. And they flew back to Vaikuntha. So the Shri Ramanujacharya ki, Shri Bhagavad Prasadam ki. So the Pashandis say, whoa, they fell down at the lotus feet of Ramanujacharya, right then and there. Can we become your disciples? He said yes. He initiated them. It's amazing. So this is the secret weapon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, ISKCON has become famous as distributing prasadam all over the world. Once I was on an airplane, I was flying to Australia. And the captain of the plane, he noticed me as I was boarding, so he came back to see me. I was a little naive about flying airplanes. And the captain's leaving, he's coming and he's sitting next to me. I said, who's flying the plane? He said, we have co-pilot. It's okay. I was a young man. So I was dressed like this, my sannyasi dress. He said, let me see now. I got the name of your religion on my tongue. Yeah. I've been all over the world. I've seen you guys everywhere. Everywhere I've seen you guys. So I know this. What is the name of your religion? Oh, yes. You're the kitchen religion. Excuse me? He said, no, you're the kitchen religion. I said, what do you mean? He said, you guys distribute delicious food everywhere I go, in your restaurants, on the streets. He said, thank you very much. I love your food. Thank you. Goodbye, kitchen religion. This is prasad. But do remember, in the beginning, Prabhupada would encourage us. I remember, eat as much as you can. He said, eat till up to the neck and then waddle like a duck when you go away. Oh, because we were young and passionate and we needed some quick purification to come to the stage of sattva gun. There's actually a saying in Vedic literature that there's not too much a young man can eat and not too little an old man can eat. So as you get a little older, we may decrease it a little bit. And we all should understand this prasad is mercy, and we should take it in great reverence. We don't live to eat. We eat prasadam to live and nourish our bhakti, our devotion to Krishna. So like this. So in this way, we can become purified. In this nasty age, actually, it's impossible to become God conscious in this age. Tatashtanu dinam dharma, satyam socham shamadaya, kalena balina rajan, naksyat yayur balam shmiti. It's not a verse I like to quote. I like to quote the verses about, Govindam, Adi Purusham, Tamam Bhajami. Beautiful verses about Krishna. This is one's a little bit hard to digest. Tataschanu dinam dharma, satyam socham shamadaya, kalena balina rajan, nakshat yayur balam. Smriti. O King, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. Ooh, what a horrible age to be born in. The evils of this age are so bad that there's hardly any chance any soul can be revived. But the Lord's determined, so he employs his most potent weapons to free us from the entanglement of material life. Again, Krishna Vardhan Krisha Krishnam Shango Pangasha Parshadam Yagnai Sankatan Praya In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy name of Krishna. He's singing his own name. Although his complexion is not blackish, he's Krishna himself. He's accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, confidential companions. Lord Chaitanya has weapons. But I haven't seen his astras, I haven't seen his gada, his club, chakra. No. So what weapons are we referring to? 3 principal weapons that destroy the ignorance of the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. Harinam Sankirtan, Bhagavat Prasadam, and Sadhu Sangha, association with devotees. They're so powerful that even Kali runs in fear. Actually, fear personified is afraid of Krishna's holy names. So we should take these weapons of the Lord. They're not too sharp. They don't hurt too much. It's not like you go to the hospital, you have an operation. No, these weapons, it's like somebody hits you on the head with a lotus flower. Boom. But mainly it's the kirtan, because you can't eat all day. I mean, I know someone who can eat all day. Rishikesh Gangadas. Rishikesh, stand up. He's from Ukraine. He eats all day long. He's like Bhishma. Bhishma could fight 10,000 elephants, and Bhishma was eating all day long, or Bhima. Bhima was eating all day long. This boy, he has breakfast once, breakfast twice, breakfast 3 times. Then lunch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then snack, snack, snack. And he's eating dinner at midnight. Sit down. He's already thinking. See, as I'm talking about food, he's salivating. Guru Maharaj, we're talking about. Primarily, our weapon for becoming purified. Kali Kali Nam Rup Krishna Avatar, Nam Hoite Haya Sarva Jakata Nishtar. In the age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy names, one associates with the Lord directly. Anyone who does this is certainly delivered. This is not exaggeration. To think that this is exaggeration is an aparat to the holy name. One of the 10 offenses is to think that the glories of the holy name are some type of exaggeration. No. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Jharikanda forest and he made tigers chant audibly, it wasn't, no, they were chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. And the deer, they were chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. And particularly it's noted that the envy in the hearts of those animals was immediately dissipated. Envy is the cardinal sin. We fell from the spiritual world because of envy, and that envy is eradicated by chanting. So if animals can be delivered by chanting Hare Krishna, what about you and me? That's the glories of the holy name. If animals can be delivered, then what about you and me? So we have this great mercy at our disposal. This way we take shelter of Krishna, and irregardless, we can be even Jagai and Madhai. Actually, the holy name likes to deliver the Jagai and Madhais. It's just like if, cancer is the predominant disease in Kali Yuga. If some doctor comes up with one little pill that'll cure cancer, that pill will become famous. Isn't it? Oh, Dr. Such and Such, a little white sugar pill you take, no more cancer. That'll be big news. So how much bigger is the news that these 3 words, Hare Krishna and Rama, can not only purify you, but deliver you back to Godhead? That should be the big news in society. Harinam, Harinam, Harinama eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva, 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 gatirandita. So it can be done softly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. It can be done in the association of other devotees, congregational, and we can go to the streets of Pune and chant very loudly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And you could say the original Acharya, because Krishna is the Adi Guru, isn't he? He first revealed divine knowledge to Brahma at the beginning of creation. So he's the Adi Guru. So he's also the original Acharya. So we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did these 3 types of kirtan. He also chanted japa. He also chanted with his devotees in Srivasangam. And he personally went into the streets of Navadvip and chanted. Sometimes devotees say, but I never heard Lord Chaitanya chanted japa. Yes. Rupa Goswami describes Mahaprabhu's chanting in his Pratana Chaitanya Askatam, verse 5. Listen to this. The loud sounds of Hare Krishna appeared on Mahaprabhu's tongue, counting the names on a splendid string with a series of auspicious knots from a cloth around his waist. His 2 eyes so large they seemed to reach his ears, his arms extending to his knees. When will this Chaitanya again become visible to me? Now, if you were listening carefully, it said that Mahaprabhu was chanting japa. Softly, the name was on his tongue, counting the names on a string around his waist. This is how Mahaprabhu, he didn't have japa beads. Here, Rupa Goswami, he knows the Lord very intimately, both as Rupa Goswami and Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. Thank the Lord for Rupa Goswami, all these intimate details. He's saying Mahaprabhu chanted japa. He had a string around his waist, and it was knotted 108 times with one big knot. And that's how he would kept his numerical chanting. Actually, a couple of years ago, one of my disciples went to Govardhan Hill, and there's one cave at Govardhan Hill. He found a Baba chanting in there on a string with knots. His whole life he'd been chanting on. He was so renounced, just had one cloth around his waist, tears in his eyes, chanting on a knotted string. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. And that disciple of mine was amazed. And Baba said, "Oh, you like to chant? Take my mala." And he gave him the string with the knots. And sometimes I chant my rounds on that knotted string. And when I do, I think of this verse by Rupa Goswami describing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would keep count of his japa with the knots. Similarly, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, he writes in his Chaitanya Chandamrita about Mahaprabhu chanting japa. He writes, tying knots in the waistband of his loincloth to count the number of names chanted, Lord Chaitanya's hands trembled and his heart overflowed with prema as he counted the names of Krishna on the knotted string. Did you know this? No. He's the original Acharya setting the example. And Raghunath Das Goswami, if we need more evidence, Raghunath Das Goswami writes in Stavabali, when will that son of Mother Sachi, who, taking the residents of Bengal as his own, inspire them to chant Hare Krishna a prescribed number of times daily, and who, like a father, gave them many cherished instructions, again become visible to me? So here, Raghunath Das Goswami is encouraging us to chant a prescribed number of rounds. How many rounds each day? 16. Some devotees chant 25, some 32, some 64. I know some of my Vaishnava friends, Babajis in Vrindavan, 192 rounds a day. That's all they do. Ashantushti, they're completely satisfied. So Mahaprabhu would never ask us to do something that he didn't do. Prabhupada would never ask us to do something that he didn't do. This is Guru, this is Acharya. As for kirtan with devotees, Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of pastimes of Mahaprabhu, chanting like this we did, the Srivasangam. And going out on Harinam, Mahaprabhu chanted japa. He chanted with devotees. Did he go on Harinam? Yes. So if he goes on Harinam, we can also go on Harinam. Majja Leela in Chaitanya Charitamrita, 2798. Reciting this verse, Gaurahari walked along the path. Seeing people on the way, he told them, say Hari, Hari. These people became maddened in prema, saying Hare Krishna. They would follow behind the Lord, being eager to serve him. Is this us chanting? Yeah. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya notes in Chaitanya Satakam 64. Seeing the people of the world afraid of the sins of the age of Kali and dejected at heart, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally gave them the Harinam mantra and ordered them to do loud sankirtan with him while dancing and playing musical instruments for the benefit of the whole world. So this is a good day for all of you to resolve yourselves to make vows that you'll increase your Krishna consciousness by chanting. This is your new year here in Maharashtra. So typically on the new year, devotees take certain vows. So take vow to seriously chant japa, 16 rounds every day. Or if you're a child, 2, 3, 5, you can come up. If you're an adult, you should start chanting 16 rounds today. And you'll be executing the Yuga Dharma, and you'll get the same benefit or more that was attained by sages in the past through the prescribed process in that age. Kritya dhyayato Vishnum, Tretayam yashato makai, Dupori paricharyaham, Kalota dari kirtanai. Whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dupori Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting very loudly the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki, Srila Satchidananda Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki, Ruk Prendan Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki, Sri Nam Prabhu ki, back home, back to Godhead ki, take the whole world with us ki, Gaur Premanande, Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Shyam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Happy New Year. Happy Mahasvan New Year. Before I go, I'd like to introduce you to a few books that I brought with me. These are my lectures through the years about the most sacred abode of Sri Vrindavan Dham. It's like a book you can take on Parikrama. There's 60 billion holy places in Vrindavan, but in these books we cover the primary, the main places of Parikrama. And this is very handy for you if you go to Vrindavan. You can read about Radhakund, Shyamakund, Varshana, Nandagram, so many places. And if you can't go to Vrindavan, you can sit in the privacy of your home and fall in love with Vrindavan by reading these books, these Parikrama books about Braj. The first one is about the sacred forest of Vrindavan on the western bank of the Jamuna. The second one is about the sacred forest on the eastern bank of the Jamuna. And this is a book about Govardhan Hill in Hindi. Somebody can translate it into Maharashtrian. And if you purchase any of these veritable jewels of books, because I did so much research for 5 or 6 years about Vrindavan, you don't have to do that research yourself. From Prabhupada's books and from the books of the Goswamis, if you can take this book very cheap, 2,500 rupees. That's nothing for people in the IT part of Pune. If you take one of those books, we'll also give you free my newly produced book called Adventures of a Traveling Monk. In this book, I describe my travels around the world for the last 52 years, the best experiences I've had, the most amazing people I've met, and the miracles I've seen in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement, delivering the fallen conditioned souls of Kali Yuga. So this is a special gift, Adventures of a Traveling Monk, a memoir, if you take one of these books. So I have a pen. My servants are going to give me a pen. And there's the books over there. And if you'd like to take one, I'd be very happy to sign the book with my signature, both books. Okay? Thank you so much for having me here. This part of Pune is like way far away, but it's worth coming all the way here. And I wish you the very best in your efforts to expand your preaching in this part of the town. And if you'd be very kind upon me, please invite me back again next year. Hare Krishna.